All right, everybody, welcome to this Friday Night Live. I hope everybody's doing well out there. I appreciate y'all coming on and joining me. I do, let my Telegram group know when I'm getting ready to hop on. So if you get on that, you'll know when I'm going live, or you can subscribe to me, and that'll also kind of tell you because TikTok is sometimes they'll tell people when I'm going live. Sometimes they won't. It's like a love-hate relationship, but and speaking of that, it's kind of weird that recently I had a video that I made in March of 2022 just suddenly go out to like 10, 15,000 people, like all of a sudden out of nowhere. And I thought it was weird because I'm shadow banned, I know I'm blacklisted. I mean, as soon as I post a video, they'll ban it, and then I have to appeal it, which takes a couple days, so it removes all my traffic immediately. Awareness, thank you so much for the gifts, much appreciated, my friend. I hope you're enjoying your path and your walk. I do love your content as well. I'm glad that you're, reaching out and helping people try to understand and become enlightened. That is very, very important, and it's a very powerful walk. And it's kind of hard sometimes to secure your own before you're out trying to reach other people. So anyway, guys, this time is set aside for everybody to come on here and ask any and all questions. I do my best to set that aside, and I was gonna go to bachata class and it got canceled because it's supposed to snow tonight. I think we're getting 4 to 5 inches tonight. It's the first snow of the year, and I hope everybody's safe out there with all of the created fires that are out in Cali. It's a tough situation to be in. I can only imagine. I can only imagine. It's just anyway. Hope everybody's doing well. Appreciate y'all for coming on here. Gonna have a very fun show tonight, and enlightening and very, very helpful for everybody. I hope y'all caught the recaps of the last video that I posted. They banned it because they said I was drinking. They said I was using alcohol and doing drugs. So they banned my last video, and all I was doing is what I'm doing here, which is talking on this live. So thought that was funny, but luckily they accepted my appeal, and it's continuing to go out to a couple hundred people. But anyway. Again, feel free to ask any and all questions that this time is set aside to help everybody on a case-by-case basis in equity. I have been a very lucky individual to be able to study a lot of esoteric knowledge on all different sectors and fields while being able to maintain a balanced life, and that is a very important thing that I try to promote. Is remember that not to get too caught up into individual nuances. The most important thing in this walk is your come from and your being. You can be a janitor out there and be the most happy, helpful, come from person in the world that everybody wants to vibe with, and that's one of those things that takes a little bit of time and talent, because it's hard once you start separating yourself from the world to not like get caught up in what everybody wants, and that's one of the things that just divides me from others. Is I don't care about money. I'm not up here asking for anything. I do all of this of my own free volition and try to help everybody the best I can, try to help everybody from getting hurt. Solo, what's up, man? Charles, my man, how are you? And your family as well. Hope it's good. Yeah, everything is absolutely amazing. It's beautiful. This beautiful night, starting to get dark a little early. It's cold. It's very cold. It's below freezing, and I'm waiting to see that snow drop, man. I'm hoping there's not going to be a lot of accidents out there. Here where I'm at, people start going nuts as soon as they even talk about weather. They like close everything. If they talk about snow, everybody starts going crazy, putting chains on their tires and salt everywhere, and just going berserk. They mention snow on the weather. They close school for 3 weeks, like all that stuff, and then it doesn't even snow, and it's just funny. But it is kind of cold out here, and I was debating on whether or not to go to live tonight, but I was, this is for y'all. It's not about me, so that's why I'm up here trying to do my best to help. Solo, no, I'm in Eastern Standard Time over here. So I'd say Mid-East, peace from the Middle East. Anyway, again, feel free to ask any of y'all questions. Continuing to have fun trying to work on property management. I had tenants signed, sealed, delivered, ready to get. They paid all the deposits, ready to move in, and a rat tore up the whole house, and they ended up backing out of the lease. I had mentioned about the rat a couple lives ago, but they ended up not wanting to move in because of a rat had destroyed two little 1-inch spots on a carpet. And I got the rat out, fixed the carpet, and they were ready to move in, and they were just like, no, we're not going to do it. And they were really good tenants, and I was just like, dang. So now I was back at the drawing board trying to find new people to get in there. Solo, Miami in the house, getting cold here too. In Miami, it can't be that cold, man. It's 33 out here. I don't know what you're talking about cold out there. I got some friends that are looking at moving to Florida, and I actually talked to one of my barbers. Said they moved from Florida, and then they came here and they were like, it's 80 degrees during Christmas. What's going on in this state? You know, it's crazy. Casey Sargent, just south of Memphis, Tennessee, 6 inches. Wow. Okay. Yeah, that's probably new for that kind of area. I think where I'm at here in Virginia, I'm looking to get 4 to 5, maybe plus inches, and it's getting ready to start in about, actually it should be starting now. I didn't look out the window, but last I had heard it was going to be around 9 o'clock, and that's what time it is here right now. And I always forget that, and I love TikTok, and I also kind of hate that I'm throttled down so much, but I love that I'm able to reach people. Like I'll look on my traffic, and it's going out to Brazil, it's going out to Indonesia, it's going out to all over the world. My content does. It's not much anymore, but it's still going out all over the place. And I always remember that when I'm talking to people or setting up calls or whatever, that you get consumed in your own little bubble of your own little world, and then it's so much bigger out there. And I love traveling and learning new cultures and knowledge and stuff, but always remember to say, what's your time zone? Because I have people calling me at 3 in the morning, 2 in the morning. So I started putting my phone on sleep, because I don't know about y'all, but I don't like being woken up at 2, 3 o'clock. And the girl who called me was like, your website says, it's like, yeah, 24 hours a day you can call. It's like, but that don't mean I'm awake. you can call 24 hours a day, but that don't mean I ain't sleeping. But yeah, so anyway, I hope you guys are having fun and enjoying life out there. That's what you're supposed to do, as continuing to walk and become more elevated and educated, and trying to find the creators through this fire that we're all involved in, and trying to none of us are going to make it out of here alive. So Solo, I know it's been a long time since we've had cold, since the 90s. Yeah, I got to be careful of certain things I say, although they have not banned me on my lives, which, is kind of wild. They've been letting me get a little loosey-goosey, But I remember when I mentioned chemtrails in one of my videos, like, they did not like that at all. Like, that was the most hated video TikTok that I had ever put on, until I put up the AI interview. When I posted my AI interview, I think that was the least viewed video I'd ever posted. But when I mentioned chemtrails on a video, woof, they did not like that. And then now, like, I literally, I found a kind of a loophole to where I can say that this video, when I post a video, it is not real, it's absolutely false, it's fake or whatever, but somebody else said it, and I kind of found a loophole where I'm going to say that they're a liar, so that I can continue to, like, because I don't like lying, at all. That's not what I do. I do my best to get to the bottom of the truth to help everybody out, and that's part of my walk, is to be a fountain of truth for everybody to drink from. But it's been the weather manipulators that are out there that do geoengineering have been at it for a very, very long time. And I almost, I mentioned in my Telegram group that they have, when the quote unquote fires start that can somehow melt metal and all that stuff, but not trees. It seems to always happen coincidentally during very high winds that somehow can jump over roads and around trees and stuff like that. But anyway, Awareness Daily. How to approach switching from a W-4 to a 1099. So if you're working for an employer, you can simply withdraw your W-4 and tell them that you want to be a 1099 employee, and then they will not withhold your taxes. You can do it that way, especially if you say if you're like coming from a different jurisdiction. But what ends up happening is you got to make sure during the double entry bookkeeping, because they're going to report your employer, the employer of the U.S. citizen is going to report to the IRS that they did not withhold any taxes from an entity that is working for profit in a federal zone. Okay, and when the IRS, who's a neutral third-party accounting agency, comes back to the entity that was engaged in for profit in a federal zone, they're going to go, why didn't you pay taxes? And you've got to have a darn good reason or some way out of it or something in order to not pay taxes, because they are against for-profit in their zone with their money. Like, that's the funny phony monopoly money. That's kind of how it works. So you go to HR and you basically do the paperwork. You switch out from tell me you want to withdraw your W-4. and you want to switch to being a 1099 employee, which is a contractor, but that also will have implications on your insurance, or the insurance of the U.S. citizen, as far as like you could be tiered into, if I think you're a truck driver, if you're still doing that or not. Your insurance and health and dental, all that could be bundled. They won't be covering any of that anymore, so you'll get even more money on top of that. But you just gotta be aware that if you don't do everything correctly, when they report everything to the IRS, when the IRS comes back to you to balance the books, because they basically reported that they didn't withhold anything. When you sign the W-2, you're basically reporting them as your withholding agent, the federal withholding agent. So if there's not been a withholding agent, they're going to come after you, and you got to have your ducks in a row. All right, 52 new questions. Let's see, are they actually questions? Casey, sir, agent, you have some of the most thorough and detailed information. Thank you. Yeah, it's taken me a while. It's been almost 13 years of studying this stuff, but I'm not really a master in any one subject. I am like a broad, basically, I lay foundations that other people can build on, because you can spend the rest of your life studying electricity. You can spend the rest of your life studying water. You can spend the rest of your life studying spiritual stuff. I just kind of try to be a generalist, so that nobody can kind of screw me over really hard without me knowing, and you kind of learn that when you get into construction and stuff. You got to know, I know enough to get myself hurt, basically, is how it works. But I do appreciate that. It's taken a lot of time. Somebody at Charles me. Hey, at Charles Rose. Any more questions? Let's see. Solo. Don't know why they be tripping. It's a fact. Oh, you talking about TikTok? I think it's because, it's a publicly registered and owned type of platform. And even though they do put out a lot of good, good information, but they do blast a lot of fear-mongering false information. For instance, I basically started releasing this commercial knowledge because, the girl, of course, was hot, and she was basically sending there's almost 1 million people out there to go get arrested and get hurt. And it was like TikTok knows the stuff's false, so they just blast it out to millions of people. And she was just telling people that you could just hop in your car and travel without a license and you're good. She was like, you can just tell the IRS you're a human and they won't tax you, like all this stuff, and going out to millions of people. And I'm like, this is not correct or true. And so I tagged her in a video, try to be very respectful and say, look, this is how it really works. You got to have some foundational knowledge before you start trying to hurt people. And that's how I started my walk, to help people, the best that I can from the knowledge and the stuff that I've studied, so that y'all don't go down the wrong rabbit trails, that y'all don't waste your time or energy or money or any of that stuff, because I've gone through a lot of different wrong rabbit trails, and I've seen a lot of people get arrested. I've seen many people get arrested for doing international bills of exchange, for trying to create bonds, for doing all kinds of stuff that they're not authorized to do. And so I've taken the position where I love to get many sources and then put puzzle pieces together, which makes the most sense from a top down. If I was one of the elites trying to control the board and keep certain knowledge secret or put out misinformation, like how would I try to run that game? And that's kind of how I try to put all the pieces together, is to look at it from a high level, from the top down, and then also from the bottom up. And then try to meet it in the middle, and makes the most sense. So and it's worked out pretty well. That's because not a lot of people try to look at the U.S. corporation as a board from the top down, like how to run and control things on an economic level. A lot of people are down just trying to scratch and survive the best they can, rub $2 together from all these corporations that are engaged in for-profit greed from a few handful of people that control all the strings. All right, so where are we at? Yo, what's up, Gray Man Patriot? How you doing? Thanks for coming on, guys. Appreciate it. Again, feel free to ask any all questions. Awareness. Going to start a business selling my driving skills and IP own my labor. Right. Okay. So it's pretty easy. You'd want to start something. You could do like a private membership association, or you could do something else. And again, as long as if they're donating to you, or bartering, or trading, or exchanging, they're citizen to whatever entity you're going to establish or set up. It could be a trust. You just got to make sure, if you're using Federal Reserve notes, that it's being exchanged or transferred or whatever properly, documented and all that stuff. Because the people that took over the monetary system with the phony monopoly money, they track it. It's their property, and that's what happens during wartime. Is when they take over a place, is they basically want to track and monitor where all of the funds go. So you just gotta be careful. I can always help some. Awareness. I also want to start an unincorporated spiritual organization, so to create a private identity. Yeah, so like I've always said and preached is well, I say preach, but always talked about is a corporation soul is one of my favorite entities because it can be engaged in all kinds of different things, including Federal Reserve notes, as long as it's not engaged in for-profit business. If it's going to have a for-profit business or something, it needs to create a trust, and then the trust needs to be like a trustee of the business or something like that. Like it needs to create a buffer or separation to protect the corporation soul, which houses the spiritual union body, which it's like the shield, because you have to have a dead entity to interface with the public with. So you get your spiritual society together, which is 2 or more people that have the same spiritual beliefs. And then the corporation soul is the shield, the buffer between you and the dead corporation. And I want to make a video. I don't know how much longer TikTok's going to be around. If it's going to be around for 9 more days. I'm thinking about posting the one video that just keeps getting removed, but I'm gonna put my disclaimer from somebody that says, this is a fake false video. I'm gonna try to put that on, and hopefully that won't get banned or community guidelines. And then I want to make a video showing the difference between the Republic and the corporate DC jurisdiction board, and how you can kind of play around between the two, and things that are admissible or be able to be seen by the public fake false federal jurisdiction through DC that's been blanketed over the U.S. Solo, I'm talking about the trails. Oh yeah, absolutely. Oh my gosh, I couldn't believe when that happened, Solo. I was actually thinking that the owners or controllers of TT must have had a heavy stake in that. In the geoengineering chemtrail game, because like why else would that be immediately so banned? And I put a disclaimer at the beginning of every one of my videos, but now it has to be audible. If I don't audibly say basically don't listen to me, this is all false, whatever, like they won't even give it the time of day, and even then they still ban it. And it was so funny. I posted my live highlight reel, my last video, and they immediately banned it for saying I'm an alcoholic drug user or something like that, which is true. I drink alcohol every once in a while, and I had done drugs in my life, so but not in the video at all. And I even showed somebody, I'm like, what is this stuff? They just pick a random button to ban me, and then they wait 2 or 3 days till all the traffic dies down, and then they accept my appeal. But with the chemtrail, they won't hearing it, won't having it. They were like, nope, you are not getting this out to nobody. Glass to have you here. 2 Owls Media. I'm glad you showed a picture finally of what you look like, 2 Owls Media, because I had no clue if it was a female or male for a while there. But yeah, I'm glad to be here too. Like, I love coming on here and helping people, and I do. There's times when I want to invite people on the live with me so that it's like more entertaining, or whatever. But it's just got to be someone that's somewhat kind of well versed and knows, good questions to ask and stuff like that. And I always put that out there. If somebody wants to come on or wants to do an interview with me, they can come up with questions, and then we can record from there. Ariana, do you help people with putting trust together? I have trust templates that are on my website for free, and from there, my time, I don't personally like spend hours and hours and hours like creating a special trust for somebody. What you can do is reach out to a professional that can do all that stuff for you, and then you can just remove certain things that like put it under other people's jurisdiction. Like they'll want you to put Federal Reserve notes in it as the trust res, and then they'll also want to say this is bound by the federal rules of the corporate state of whatever and stuff like that. You can get someone else to do all the work for you. Then you just remove all of the jurisdictional things. Because I'm a big I play big when it comes to jurisdiction and commingling. Like that is one of the foundations that you got to lay is stuff like if you don't hold the true controlling title of something, and then someone else does, and you got to understand who it is. So anything that you're going to put into that trust as the initial res corpus of the trust, you must have the true controlling title of, or there's other underlying strings attached to it, and you can be given up subject matter jurisdiction to it. So, and I learned that from a very early age when they started putting $10 in these trusts to like just to start it, just to get it going, like the initial trust corpus. All right, where are we at? Yes, glad I am too. 2 Owls Media. Solo, I don't doubt it. That's good stuff. Solo, that's none of their business. Yeah. Yeah, you know, some of this is the double-edged sword. You know, even though I have been very appreciative that TikTok has allowed my media to go out to millions of people, millions of people. Now I don't have millions of likes, of course, but it has reached millions of people. But I didn't create TikTok, you know. So again, if I created TikTok, I would not ban, you know, false media. I would probably be being attacked by the U.S. government and stuff. They'd be mad at me because I'd be actually putting out real, like I'm doing now. I'd be putting out real knowledge and real stuff the best I could. I would be fighting for absolute truth and knowledge to be able to go out to everybody, you know. Guys, if you want to recap this live, it'll be on YouTube. The audio will be in my Telegram group. I have exclusive content on all my social medias, which is linked on my website, anointednewfoundationofpeace.life. That is linked on my profile page of TikTok, along with playlists that I've created to re-educate everybody from the ground up. If you take time to go through all that, I always suggest everybody to like take notes and stuff when they're going through it, because it has a lot of the stuff that I've studied for 13 years in it, and it will answer a lot of questions. But most people don't want to go through all that. They just want to kind of, you know, deal with their one little issue that they have, and I understand that because your time is precious. Well, so is mine, and it's hard for me to hold thousands of people's hands. So I do my best to try to answer everybody's questions. I come on here once, you know, a week to try to answer questions for people as well, solo. In the community guidelines, they inspire and creativity. They are continuously trying to say that I violate community guidelines, and no matter what, and I could win if I took them to court or whatever, but I don't violate any of their guidelines. And I always ask them, what guidelines am I violating when I post a video up here just trying to tell people about truth? Like, tell me one community guidelines I'm violating, and they won't answer. They just won't, because they can't, because I'm not violating any guidelines. They're just doing what they can on their end to suppress and shadow ban me in order to save face, because, you know, there is a fine dance between the public and private and what the public can handle. And the public can't really handle what I'm putting out. And I appreciate everybody who shares my stuff with other like-minded people that are able to come from a higher elevation of understanding and being able to become awake and accept the truth. And it is... People want to be combative when you challenge their reality, okay? Especially if it's something that they hold to be true and they grew up in it and they love it, you know. And it's just like when you start to try to wake people up. That's why the allegory of Plato's cave or whatever. The people will fight you to lean on the system that is suppressing and keeping them blind, because it's so hard to open their eyes. And that's why you always just got to offer a safe space and try to plant little seeds. And if it's fertile ground, it'll take root, you know. That's just how it is. So I'm trying to cast my seeds not upon swine, but upon people that can that have fertile ground, that are able to be awakened. And I also, there's a reason why I put all my information scattered out amongst a lot of videos, because if you could put all the puzzle pieces that I've laid before you together, you would be unstoppable. And that is how I have designed it. And that's how almost all these corporations that have the elite esoteric secret knowledge at the very top, like when you make it past the 33rd degree of masonry and stuff, they start to reveal the actual truth of the power of the knowledge of the life and the light to the very select that can make it through that stuff. And that's somewhat how I operate, and there's a reason for that, because a lot of people are very greedy, selfish, and they can't handle power. You know, you can't give a crackhead $200 million. You know, it's just the way things work, you know. Now, if they were able to get cleaned up and be able to try to walk better and do stuff like that, then you could talk, you know, then you can give them maybe $1,000 and see what happens, right? Say, hey, you know, all right, what can you do with $1,000? Can you do something with it? You know, even though it's, you know, fiat currency and all that, I'm just trying to give analogies and allegories and stuff like that, but it's just the way it is, you know. We're all in this together. We're all humans. We're all tied in all three of the lights, and we're all different fractals of the Creator experiencing itself in a different way. I'm kind of on the fence about reincarnation stuff. I do believe that spirits can possess and do influence continuously a lot of our thoughts and desires and stuff like that. I had some crazy dreams last night. Like, I don't even practice Christmas, yo, but I was in some weird Christmas themed thing where this elf that was rabid was coming up at me, and I was like, yo, Santa Claus is the only one who has the power to tame this thing. And I put it in like a headlock, and it was scratching me like a little cat or something. And then this elf came up and like froze it or something. I don't know. It was just weird. Like, and I don't practice Christmas or none of this stuff. But it was wild. I was in some Christmas land, like attacked by some rabid elf that was like a cat scratching me and stuff, trying to bite me. But that was that was a wild dream last night. I don't know. But the dream world is spiritual full blast 100%. You know, it is your spiritual body being submersed into spiritual tests and different things. You know, sometimes we're taught a lot of the dreams were given certain tests, tasks, and questions and stuff like that to see how we will react, see how we will test ourselves and stuff like that. And we are shown things on a level that we can understand. You know, because the spiritual realm is like sky's limit. It's unlimited almost. Birdman 36. Don't give this guy thousands dollars. Yeah, don't give the crackhead thousands of dollars. I mean, if the crackhead cleaned up and they were able to like walk and try to better themselves and stuff like that, you know, you'd be more willing to try to help. Because my grandfather taught me a very valuable lesson. He taught me many, but there was a very valuable lesson he taught me. And he said one of the most important things that you could ever do for somebody in their life is give them a chance, right? But I wouldn't want to give that kind of chance to somebody who can't handle it, right? So, you know, offering somebody the chance, and you can change someone's entire life from just one conversation. And that is one of the things why I wish TikTok would not ban me, shadow ban me, throttle me down, suppress me, and blackmail me and stuff like that, because I can change someone's entire life just from one conversation. And the stuff that I've put out there on the 160, 170 videos that I've put out would change anybody's world if they were able to grill through it. You know, I know some of my stuff's dry and it's hard to go through, but if you could power through it, it would change your perception on everything. Now, I don't ever expect anybody to have 100% views the way that I see things, but I try to put things in different ways and perspectives so that it can be relatable to a lot of people, because I look at the world in a very unique way, because I see things on a natural, spiritual, commercial level, like all the time, and I have to like switch between them. And most of the time I'm kind of operating on a natural sense, but I'm always like spiritually in tune and able to sense things. And I also look at everything on the commercial level too. Oh, I got a warning, violation warning, flagged for hate speech. All right, could be. I was wondering. I was like, yo, they're letting me get loosey goosey on here. I was wondering when they were getting ready to ban me. All right, guys. I guess I'm talking too hateful. So we will throttle it back down, and we will talk about gummy bears and soft, beautiful rainbows that everybody loves, not directed energy weapons. So how are y'all doing out there? How's everybody's gummy bears and rainbows and butterflies and stuff? 'Cause I'm such a hateful guy, yo. I'm so terrible. I was kind of pushing the buttons to see how far that I could go though earlier with TT to see would they let me go. They just threw a flag on the field. That's how I feel like we're playing a game, yo, and I just got a flag on the field. Organic gummy bears, yes, organic all the way. And I was talking to somebody about this. My friend, she had tried going vegan, and when I first went vegan, like I knew I was on the right path. But I was very depressed. It was making me tired. Brain was getting foggy and stuff, and I didn't know why. I didn't know what was going on. And it wasn't until I switched to organic fully, which is very expensive, that all that went away. Well, she felt something similar and didn't. She only did it for like a month and a half and like threw in the towel. And I was telling her organic does still have some kind of FDA, Federal Death Agency approved types of toxins and growth hormones and formulas and stuff in it, but it has a lot less, But the only true way to know if what's in your stuff is to grow it from scratch. And I tried it in a greenhouse, and that freaking greenhouse, I screwed up because I tried standing garden beds. My wife at the time, she wanted standing garden beds, but it got 100 degrees in there. All of those garden beds were drinking over a gallon of water every single day. And I got 4 standing garden beds. I'm putting 4 to 5 gallons of water in this thing every single day. I would get off work and all of my plants would look like they shriveled up like an old lady, and they're tired and just ready to commit a word that I'm not going to say. So I filmed it. It was wild. I would put a gallon of water in these things when I got off work, and they would lighten up, and like you could watch them on a time lapse. It would take about an hour, but they would go from looking shriveled up to drying out to absolutely like back to life, like they're ready to bachata dance, baby. They're ready for it, and within a short period of time. On Kansas soil, have to be selective on certain brands on truly organic. Yeah, it's still kind of tough So here's how that works. Okay. There are a handful of corporations at the very top, Black Rock, State Street, and something else, that own all of the other corporations, like all of them. And then they all own each other. They're all on each other's boards because they're all about corporate interests and what will benefit each corporation to continue the cycle going, okay? So if you can find a mom and pop shop that is outside of it and can actually survive because of all the mega corporations that control all the markets and stuff like that, like your Amazons and your Walmarts and stuff like that, if you can find a mom and pop shop that has survived through all this, flim-flam stuff that's been going on throughout the few years, then yeah, you can probably find some really good stuff. But if you go in a grocery store, 99.9% of the stuff is owned and controlled by these people that have these world-renowned famous scientists that can put a scientist in a room and find out the exact mixture. And a lot of y'all don't know this stuff, but this is stuff that I've studied. They have scientists for these corporations that will sit in a room and find the exact amount of salt and sugar and chemicals that will make you want the most to keep coming back as a repeat customer to eat their garbage. And the mom and pop shops, they don't. But when I'm reading and looking at labels, I want the fewest amount of ingredients possible. That is what I look for and like. When I eat a salad, my salads are that's my main meal because I'm vegan. My salads are so huge. I cover almost my entire counter with all the produce, raw produce that I'm putting in. It's all organic, the best I can. Every once in a while, if I can't find an organic avocado for a few weeks, I might get one that's not, But outside of that, I do my best to get 100% organic produce. Look for them 9s on them labels. But I cover my entire counter. The only thing that's not alkaline though when I'm putting in there is the balsamic vinegar. It just tastes so good, and I love hot spicy stuff, and it's just nothing hits right without spice. That hot stuff. Where are we at? Butterflies and ladybugs. Yeah, we talk about butterflies and ladybugs or cockroaches, la cucaracha. True Seeker, dude, everything is now labeled organic. Hard to believe given the plan to implement. Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying, and a lot of them have probably been bought and paid for. And from what I've heard from farmers down in the, talking in the weeds, diving in, is if you're a farmer and you want to put a product on the market as organic today, let's say you just started today, it would take you over 7 years to be able to go through the loopholes, the jumps, and jump through the flaming circles in order to be able to get that little check mark on your product to say it's organic. And before that, it used to be 2 years or 3 years or something. But now it would take 7 years. And a lot of corporations just can't do it. They can't make it. And that's what the downside to, and for real, the big corporations, there's another reason why they buy all the small corporations, okay? And I learned this while I was a estimator for another company. A lot of these big corporations cannot stand the little mom and pop shops because they have low overhead, they have very little influence on the market, but yet they do, because when a mega corporation has no competition, they're basically running a monopoly. They get to dictate what the price of everything is about. And when a mom and pop shop, like the big corporations come in and say, you got to buy ketchup at $22 a bottle, and the mom and pop shops down here and I can make it for $4 a bottle, and the big corporations hate that because the mom and pop shop is going to be selling that all day, all night, at $4 a bottle, and it kind of forces the market down some because the big markets can't, or the big corporations can't control with the mom and pop shops unless they buy them, or unless they are a subsidized, or they do own them as a wholly owned subsidiary, and they basically can act like they are that small mom and pop shop, even though they control and own them. Yeah, I've heard about Codex Alimentarius, but I'd have to look it up because it's been so long. I don't know if that's like a satanic Bible or if that's the one where they're trying to eliminate everybody. But it's been a very long time. There's a home food. Oh, it's a food and agriculture organization. That sounds. I was thinking of something else. Or food code is a collection of standards and guidelines, code of practices adopted by Codex Alimentarius Commission on. That sounds real like real Latin, also known as CAC. Whoa, cacodemons is a thing too. This junk sounds evil. So between WHO, Codex Alimentarius, CAC, established by the FAO and whatever, good animal feeding. Yeah, this is probably the people trying to put VACINES inside of lettuce and feed it to everybody. The 188 Negotiated Science. I don't know what the actual Codex Alimentarius was. That created from a long time ago. When I type it in, the first thing is the Food and Agriculture Organization pops up. There we go, Wikipedia. The Codex Alimentarius. Oh, it is called Food Code. I wonder if that's where you get the 9 from. Practice guidelines for recommendation public food organization helps. So I do look for the 9s on, organic food. I didn't know that it's just called Food Code. Codex Alimentarius Commission, a body established in early 1961 by the Food and Agriculture of the United States. Well, I just learned what that is. There was another thing that sounded like the thing where the Holy Roman See had put all the souls inside of this trust, or tried to claim that they got a first right of refusal on everybody's souls or something. I don't remember what the name of that is, but that's what it sounded like when you said that. Truth Seeker, it's the real UN kind of stuff. Yeah, Truth Seeker, it's a front for control. Okay, well, I don't know about total control on codes, but I know that from my second wife, she was working in Food Line, she was a manager there, and a lot of them would use codes. Like, she could instantly tell what a food was from the code that was on that produce. And I don't know about the new coding that they're trying to put on stuff, but this wax that they put on apples, I don't know anybody that boils that off. I just chop and eat it up. But a freaking apple, and a lot of my produce, my friends why do you go to the grocery store 2 times a week, 3 times a week? It's because I'm buying fresh, raw, organic, whole food. And it doesn't last long, especially when I make a salad that covers my whole counter. All right, it's a total takeover. I'd have to look into it a little more because I feel like I've heard that before, but again, it sounds weird that that's what they would use for food codes. But have you seen and hopefully I don't get banned for saying this, but have you seen how the barcodes are all 666? Every single barcode on products and clothing and stuff has if you look up what the number for the code 6 is, it has a 6 on the end, a 6 in the middle, and a 6 in the beginning. So it's 666 inside of every barcode. But that's a little changed with the QR codes. It's a little different. But when you look at the products, I watched a video on it. I was looking at all my products. I'm like, wow, it's true. All of them do have 666 on it. That's kind of wild. Even though it's not in the actual number, but it is in the barcode. Truth Seeker, it's essentially going to create a nutrient depletion food under the name of good governance. Yeah, right. All of our soils have been depleted over the many years, and from what I've heard, it was when the colonies moved over here and they grew a lot of the most insidious types of crops that you could put in the soil, which are tobacco and cotton. Strip all of the soil from all of the nutrients. And back then they were just lucky to even survive. Luckily, Indians showed them how to survive before they offed them all and curled them all up and rechanged their name and all that. But back then, what the colonies would do was they would strip the soils completely with all the farming of the cotton and all the tobacco, and once a soil was completely stripped and rid of all of its good nutrients, they would just move their farm and their crop just a little bit somewhere else. And so they just for decades and centuries they just basically stripped all of the soil all around us. So you're even lucky to get good soil from even if it's got a mix of fertilizer in it and stuff. Like, it's still nothing like it used to be back in the day. There was good nutrients in it, and good farmers knew how to rotate crops and to like stir in other crops inside of it so that the decaying plants could renutriate or put nutrients back into the soil. So again, like, the only way you're going to know really what you're eating is if you grow your own stuff. And I've heard that they did a study, and it's in my archive of 1,000 videos I've saved from TikTok, because like I said, luckily there are some good videos with good truth on it that do get out, even though mine's suppressed. They said that they did a study on the best soils on all over the earth, and the best soil had quartz crystal in it. Myko, sorry if I don't know how to pronounce that right. I meant to say thank you so much for the TikTok gifts. Your gifts will be used to help me on my path to help others. I do appreciate that. Again, I don't require any like donations or nothing, but they are very well appreciated. All the seeds that you plant that will be used to help others. Again, thank you. So yeah, on Kansas soil, yeah, I have an opinion on Baja Gold mineral salt. I haven't heard of that one. I've been using Celtic sea salt for almost everything because it has a lot of minerals in it. And you know, it's funny. You know, when you go to the hospital, they put saline in it. All these doctors are taught that salt is bad for you. And yeah, the highly processed iodized stuff that's table salt is garbage. But when you look at like sea salt, I think there's 12 essential salts that the body needs. But the sea salt has a lot of good minerals in it, and it's basically what we need. When you go to the hospital, they put saline drips in you because that's what your body needs. Like when you're flushing your nose out, they give you saline pack solutions because that's like, what our body needs is a good amount of salt. So I actually sip something called Soleil in the morning, which is basically 5 teaspoons or tablespoons of sea salt inside of a water. And I kind of sip that along with taking moringa and Irish sea moss. And those got like the bulk majority of all the minerals that our body needs. We need minerals, not vitamins. Sagittarius Michael, how you doing? Hey, thanks for coming on. But yeah, I don't have an opinion on Baja Gold mineral salt. It's probably good. It sounds good. all those words together sound amazing. Iron termite. There was a whole bunch more trees. Yes. And I've actually watched a video, and not a lot of people are on this tip, but on the fossilized giants, the mud floods and stuff like that. He got kicked off out of this just goes to show you that you can control the things that you fund, right? So he was in a science lab that was funded by a certain group of people, and he had a giant fingertip that was petrified from a giant. And he got it tested, and it had human DNA in it, it had blood in it, all this stuff. And he was trying to promote this stuff, and the people that controlled the lab was like, yeah, you're not going to put that out. And he's like, this is the truth. People need to know this stuff. And they were like, no, you're not. And they fired him. They basically fired him because he was trying to put the truth out. And then, hey, the TikTok's basically, throttled me down to the point where I don't even want to spend 15 hours making a video anymore to get 100 likes or, 600 views or to be banned immediately as soon as I post one. Like, it's kind of depressing, but at least it's all out there, and you have to search me because I'm not, it's not going out. But if you search for my name or whatever, you'll be able to find my content. But they ain't going out no more. Which, again, hinging back, which is weird, like all of a sudden, and I think somebody, my handler slipped or something, because all of a sudden my video from 2023 just went out to 20,000 people out of nowhere, like on a Wednesday. It was a year and some change old, and then out of nowhere, just boom, just freaking boosted. It's kind of nuts. B-Rock. Redmond real salt is the best. I have heard of Redmond's. So Redmond's, I use a different brand for Celtic sea salt or Celtic sea, so however you want to say it. Redmond's, I actually looked that up. Redmond's had a very large amount of minerals. It does, but the one that I have, I think, has 82 minerals in it. That is good for the body. True Seeker, vid not bud. What does that mean? Vid not bud. I am completely lost. Guys, again, a recap of this live will be on YouTube. The audio will be in my Telegram group. Feel free to browse around on all my social medias that I have exclusive content on all of them, which is linked on my website, Anointed New Foundation of Peace.life. That is linked on my profile page of TikTok. If you scroll down, you can email me, you can DM me. I don't charge anything for my consultations. I set this time aside every week the best I can to try to help everybody on a case-by-case basis. So feel free to ask any and all questions there, or you can DM me or email me or call me. You can actually text me on my website now. It goes straight to my phone. Before, like, it was on a remote site and I'd have to like try to hunt it down. But anyway, and I've also created playlists to help everybody on their paths. Most people just only care about money, and I understand that because everything, is kind of money related when you look at it in a commercial sense. But Foundation, Nature, Spirit, and Commerce has been made to show you how everything's tied together. Lady Liberty, how you doing? I had videos reinstated. However, they never put them back. So the one video that I cannot get out there, and I think it's because a federal agent reported it, is traveling versus driving video. And when I originally posted it, it had 8,000 likes on it. And then when I told him about it, he had it flagged and removed, and TikTok would not put it back no matter what. So I reposted it. And then I learned really quickly, because I don't know about y'all, but for me to try to get 8,000 likes now, I have to put out about 800 videos. I'd have to put out about 800 videos to get 8,000 likes now. Well, this one video had 8,000 likes, and when I deleted it, I lost all my likes, and it wouldn't let me archive it or nothing. If you archive something, you get to keep the likes, but if you delete it, they're gone. So I was like, dang. But that video that had community guidelines violation now says under review, and what they were doing, which is very sneaky, is they would go through, and I think this is what happened, because my handler. Whoever my handler is on TikTok, who throttles my stuff down to 300 views per video or whatever, I think he slipped and accidentally promoted one, because what they've been doing is they'll go through my videos that are a year and some change old, and they'll ban it. They'll hit a ban on it, and then if I don't catch it, and then they won't notify me that it's got banned, and then if I don't catch it within a week, I can't appeal it anymore. And then it'll instantly say, oh, you've missed the deadline for appealing. And what's funny is my disclaimer video. They banned my disclaimer video, and I put it up and I appealed it as soon as it was live for 2 hours like they normally do before they ban it. And then I appealed it, and then nothing was ever said. 4 or 5 months go by, and then I looked, and then somehow it was going to allow me to appeal it again, and I appealed it and it said I missed the window. And I'm like, no, I want to say no, I didn't. I appealed it as soon as they did that, but it's still gone out to a lot of people because it's pinned at the top of my profile, and my stuff does go out to a few people because everybody's sharing it and liking it. But Kansas soil, research the mineral contents on each. Yeah, I'd have to do a side by side. Between moringa, I think between moringa and Irish sea moss, they cover almost everything your body needs anyway. So when I look at the Celtic sea salt, between those three, I'm covered, I'm good. Now I am 6'3" and almost 200 pounds, so I need a lot of minerals, probably more than most people. But I do, I take that at least, and I'm trying my best to be healthy. I can still do handstands and flips and stuff, and I am old though. I'm getting older for sure, and every day I can feel it. B-Rock and Redmond Minerals Real Salt is mine here in the U.S. Oh, that's awesome. I've traveled all over the world, and I love all kinds of different cultures. I love especially that other cultures and other places ban all the stuff that they allow here in our food. That's crazy. True Seeker, 15 hours? Does it really take that much time? I've always wondered the times it takes in program to use. Yeah, some of my videos. So I used to be able to make a video. This is how that happened. When my stuff started going out and going crazy, and when I say crazy, I'm talking 800 or 80 to 100 to 200,000 views per video. I could pop one of those out in about 30 minutes. I could sit in my chair, just sit there, talk for a little bit, and then just post it, and it would go out that far. And then as they started throttling me down more and more and more, it happened around when I started talking about spiritual stuff. when I started talking about spiritual stuff, they started throttling me down harder and harder and harder. So I started spending more and more time trying to put more effort into my videos, making them more entertaining, more knowledgeable, more research, more edits. Yeah, it takes a lot of time to put sound effects to every single edit that you do, to chop out everything, to do research and stuff and post that stuff. Like the video that I want to make about the two different boards between the national sovereign soils and the federal board game and stuff. That's going to take some time. It's going to take some time, some different video edits, different angles, different takes, stuff like that. Stitch it all together, make sound effects, all this stuff to try to make it at least somewhat entertaining for the 600 people that it'll go out to, if they don't ban it immediately, which they normally do. But yeah, that's kind of where I'm at now, and it's kind of depressing. It's kind of depressing to try to put that much time on something. And you want to see some real suppression? Look on my YouTube. I had someone actually comment they couldn't believe that they were the 6th view on this video and it had been up for 2 days. I said, you think that's funny? Go look at my last short. My last short was 2 minutes long. I posted it on. It had been up for 5 days and it had 1 view. 1 view. And I was like, you want to see true content suppression? Hop over on YouTube. At least TikTok lets me slide a little bit on certain things, a little bit, like allows y'all to come on and interact with me some. But YouTube is not it. That is not the one. But I do, at least it's like, I'm just using that as a repository for all my content, because at least it's like, it's all there if somebody wants to go through it. Like, again, if you want to go through this live, this whole live will be on YouTube, you can join the 5 people that'll see it, but it will be on there. If there's something real interesting you said, or you heard me saying you want to run it back, you can. Brock, I guess it's good that it's all natural and thousands of years old and mined from an underground mine. Yeah, that stuff is good. And a lot of the ways they harvest it, though, the sea salt is from putting the water on a blanket, and they'll just let it evaporate. It's funny. I've been watching y'all throw hearts for the last 25 minutes, and my hearts have not gone up one. It hasn't gone up one at all. Like, normally by the time I'm at 50 minutes on here, I have 5,000-6,000 likes. I've been on a live and somebody watched me go from 10,000 likes to 5,000. Like, they throttled it down. Now that I mentioned it, all of a sudden it's going up to 2,000. But I've literally been on a live and they've removed 5,000 likes because they don't even want it to look like I'm popular. Like, that's how bad I'm being handled, like, by my handler, that whoever is. Anyway, Kansas Soil Wilds. Again, guys, I set this time aside to help everybody. So if you want to ask any questions, feel free to ask now. But I usually stay on here for about an hour, and that's where we're getting at now. And I try to wrap up and enjoy my night. I might watch a movie or I might go to bed. I hope y'all are enjoying your lives. It's all about kind of balance. Because it's not all just about us. Once you get out of that mentality, you understand the bigger picture. Like, we're all tied to this together. We're all just trying to understand what's going on. And that's why I enjoy being a teacher. I enjoy doing my best to lay foundations that y'all can build on and show y'all the water where it's at. I'm not a real big hand holder, but I can definitely give you some guidelines and point you in the right direction and give you all the material, right? Now, I do my best not to say, just go on my website and look at the 13 years of stuff that I've studied, boom, there it is. I try to give people, pinpoint exactly where it is if they want something specific, but I do always suggest everybody goes through the playlist on my profile page. True Seeker, how do people make these videos that have all these different stock vid clips or movies all stitched? Oh, I use TikTok owns this thing called CapCut, and if you turn on TikTok, you'll see sometimes there's these videos that have 28 million views, and it's not just because it's a hot chick farted or something. It's because they're using CapCut and TikTok purposely. And I made a video on this. There is a person that actually dictates how many views a video will get. It's not an algorithm. They do use an algorithm to categorize stuff into different For You feeds and stuff, but that does not determine how many people it goes out to. A actual handler, and my handler, sometimes I try to catch him when he's sleeping, but they're good. So when you go to turn on TikTok, all of a sudden it'll show you, something has 58 million views. It's a CapCut template that they're showing because it promotes their product. So they are corporately incentivized to try to publish and promote that. That's why you'll see a TikTok shop ad come on there. Some you can buy from the TikTok shop and stuff, and it goes out to millions of views and stuff. Now, that's not saying those are the only people like Bella Porch or whatever that just went me on a video, and it's the most viewed TikTok in history and stuff like that. Me and one of my old girlfriends, we used to send each other videos of like the most unintelligent, weird videos that have no business getting 38 plus million views that get 38 plus million views. Like it's just like, I can't believe this stuff. And then I'll go on TikTok and I'll see stuff, people saying stuff that's way worse than mine. Like they are blasting the insidious stuff that's going on, like way worse than mine. And I'm like, and they ban me. I'm like, and they ban mine, but they let this one go out to 200,000. But anyway, I'm venting. I get to, that's what I get for being on here for 2 years. But it's taken me a long time to get here, and my plan is to promote a video thanking all of my fans once I reach 200,000 likes. And my estimations is it'll take another month, which I don't even think TikTok has anymore, if I put out one video per week, which is what I try to do because it takes a lot of time. So Kansas Soil on your website, Dropbox is phenomenal. I have so much more. I update it all the time. When I'm in the mood, it's hard. I put a lot of videos and content in folders and change it all the time. God Des, what's the deal with the fish hooks? The fish hooks is a logo that I created about 12 years ago, and it stands for CNJ. It's fish hooks spinning in all directions, and it means I'm a fisher of men because I'm out there trying to help people and basically try to lead them towards the real truth, which is the spiritual stuff. Okay, it's not about money or mammon. It's not about commerce, even though commerce is in a sense it is everything, because you can't do anything without it. And it's not about nature. The real truth is about the spiritual stuff, and that's what I try to teach them about. Which is when I started getting shadow banned and blocked down, is when I started teaching about spiritual stuff. But that's what the insignia is CNJ. It's fish hooks spinning in all directions, getting smaller. And it means Christ New Jerusalem, Yerushalom, which is the part of my corporation soul works that I do for my nonprofits and stuff like that. Nonprofit, I like that. Profit and nonprofit. Fisher of Men, that is correct. But that's what it stands for. So anyway, guys, again, feel free to ask any of y'all questions. If not, I'm at the bottom. I'm going to hope that y'all enjoy your night and enjoy things. I eventually plan on maybe releasing some stuff that I've never said before on TikTok. Maybe if they're going out here on the 19th, there's some stuff that happened in my life that got me to where I'm at. That Truth Seeker. So did you want that your family owns a company or something like that? Yeah, that's the kind of stuff that I was going to talk about. I was going to talk about that and how basically I got to where I'm at because of the forced juice that they put out on everybody, and how that company got taken over by somebody that doesn't want me there. And it was a very hard walk because I didn't want to sue and hurt a lot of people, even though I was getting hurt very bad in the process. So but anyway, guys, feel free to ask any of y'all questions. If not, I'm going to wrap up. I do appreciate you all. You can catch a recap of this live on YouTube or the audio on my Telegram group if you want to. If not, I hope y'all have an absolutely beautiful Friday. I'm going to look out the window and see if it's snowing. It did say it was getting ready to in a little while. And the reason why I only come on here for an hour is not because I don't want to keep helping y'all. It's because my voice, because I talk so fast and much, my voice starts to get mad at me. It starts to be like, dude, shut up. You need to chill. It starts to get kind of over talking. All right, let's see. Oh, yeah, I'm dead in the middle of snow, so it should be snow out there when I look out the window. 4 to 5 to 6 inches in the next 24 hours. Yep, she's coming. I forgot to put my windshield wipers up. That's one of those things you got to do when it snows or rains or whatever, but I don't know if I'm going to be moving anytime soon. But I do need to go out there and put up my windshield wipers so they don't freeze down. I'm glad that you found me, and I actually, when I come on here, I do my best to try to reach even if I can reach and help one person out there, I feel fulfilled, because we're all in this together. We're all tied through the natural light, the spiritual light, and the commercial light. And I want to help resonate and elevate the consciousness and stuff. And I do my best to just come on here to try to help elevate, at least one person. I've been on here and only been here for like 20 minutes, and I've had people that come on here like, oh my gosh, this is the most amazing live I've ever been on in my life and stuff. And I'm like, check out some of my videos, man, because I got some stuff that'll blow your socks off. But yeah, I'm glad you found me. Much appreciated. Please feel free to look at some of my content that I put on my TikTok as well, because I've spent a lot of years putting that stuff together and a lot of years studying, and I've been a very lucky individual to be able to study while also maintaining employment and being able to take care of all my other needs and stuff out there while being able to study. True Seeker, was it repair doc service? Yeah, it's repair. It's a full facility repair. That's what I might talk about. Like I said, if TikTok goes out on the 19th or whatever, right before then, I might just go ahead and put some of that stuff out there on what happened to me, because I've spent a lot of time trying to help y'all and stuff, and I was put into a very weird situation that I don't think anybody should ever have to face, between losing their life to try to help others, but that's part of my walk. So anyway, guys, again, love you all. I hope you enjoy your week, and feel free. I'll probably post a video in a few days. Try to take some time and go through a lot of my content, which will change your lives. I love y'all, and I will catch you next time. So take it easy.